at the store itself. The current state of remote printing is as shown. In the bottom right-hand corner, you see the customer's order via their device. It heads to the cloud. Then the legacy system gets an email or text message at the PC or POS terminal in the restaurant and pushes that information into the kitchen. Our Star CloudPRNT opportunity or offering is using the device, going directly to the cloud, and then going right from the cloud to the CloudPRNT printer via the interface. How does it work? From a technical standpoint, the printer communicates with the given server using a single URL. The printer will talk to this URL on a scheduled interval that is user definable. You can see there's the example of the HTTP. The ISV will integrate Star's unique CloudPRNT protocol. It's not a service, but a protocol, while also leveraging common HTTP request methods as the communications data method like JSON. Star CloudPRNT key points. It's a non-hosted service by Star. It's a protocol available on any hosted service. Again, not provided by Star, but any hosted service. The server can run on any operating system, any programming language, which makes it extremely flexible. Minimum changes need to be made to the existing ordering system. This makes the TSP650 Wi-Fi by adding the TP link to the CloudPRNT printer. So we don't have to hardwire the printer in the store. We can actually make it Wi-Fi. Key features. Supports an intelligent interface, web print and land-based printing, has USB Type-B ports for USB printing, has 2 USB ports for peripherals, example might be a scanner. The hardware base supports the Star Cloud services or our all receipts program that's already built into the printer, allowing a customer to digitize the receipt on their smartphone. In conclusion, here's what the CloudPRNT basically looks like. Print from the cloud, no additional PCs are needed, no operation for print. It's use your device, hit the cloud, goes down to the CloudPRNT printer, prints out the order for preparation purposes. The key takeaways: brings ease of remote printing to the marketplace. Again, we're eliminating some devices at the store level, talking directly to the printer itself. It's got an intelligent interface allowing for the printer to be multitasking at the store level, and also supports our Star Cloud services, the all receipts. Time to open it up for some questions in regard to the CloudPRNT, Brianna.
Thank you, Kevin. So as mentioned, all questions can be answered through the chat box. If you submit a question to organizers only, we'll see that message, and we also have John Levin here, our Product Integrations Manager. He can answer any questions for you. John, would you like to say a few words about CloudPRNT as well?
Sure. Yeah, I just want to introduce myself really quickly. A lot of you probably already know me, but I'm John Levin. I manage our integration team at Star. So I work with all of our software partners and a lot of the people who would be implementing technology such as CloudPRNT. So I just want to add a little bit of to what Kevin spoke to. Really the reason that we built this CloudPRNT technology was to solve a problem in remote ordering that we were having. ISVs were coming to us just every day asking for a way to talk directly to the printer from the cloud. So that's really what this technology, the problem that it solves. So you can imagine most of the services that you see now, all these remote ordering applications that are very commonly used in the marketplace now, they usually have a tablet or maybe a web browser running on a PC or something like that in the restaurant. and then maybe it's printing from that, like Kevin mentioned. So this printer really enables you to go in at a much lower price point and a much kind of more streamlined solution by just cutting that out or divorcing that tablet or website from the printer and talking directly to the printer. So it's very easy to implement. If you have any kind of ordering service that you think might be able to take advantage of this technology, or you are working with a software application that does this, I'm happy to work with you and help to implement this technology. I think it could really streamline operations. So a couple key products to keep in mind that we have on the market now that are CloudPRNT enabled is the TSB 652 CloudPRNT. And as Kevin mentioned, we do have a wireless version of that as well, so you can choose to either hardwire your printers to the network or have it be wireless. So we give both options. Or you can kind of use the wired Ethernet as a failover if the the Wi-Fi network goes down or something like that. So Brianna, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we do have a couple. One of these questions, which you kind of mentioned, was, is this service available now?
Yes, it's available today. The CloudPRNT is available today at your distributors.
Okay. Next question. Can you give me an example of how CloudPRNT can be used in the marketplace?
Sure. I'll use the example of a simple independent pizza store using a food ordering service where I use a device, send it to the cloud. He has the printer inside the pizza shop, takes the order that way. A buy online, pick up at store type application where I shop via my device, send it to the packing or pick area, and head to the store to pick up the order. Or I'll stretch it to the Apple store, check yourself out on your own device, where a CloudPRNT can be put into an application like that, where you gain a receipt before you exit, so that whoever's manning the door can see that you've actually purchased, ordered, and paid for whatever you did via your own device. So there's a couple different examples.
Okay. John, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I think Kevin really nailed it. So this is, there's a lot of applications, really any kind of, buy online, pick up in store type scenario. We kind of focus a little bit on online ordering for food from restaurants, but really that is used now for many goods. Online ordering for flowers or all sorts of other items. So this can be used in any of those types of situations where you've got an order that's going to be showing up in some sort of store or restaurant. It's the perfect technology for that.
Okay. Last question is, can I add CloudPRNT functionality to my current printer?
The model today is only spec'd on the 654 model. And I think, John, you can lend more to that because, like I say today it's only spec'd on the 654 model. I suspect in the future we'll extend that to different models.
Right. So today, as of today, you would have to buy a new printer with this CloudPRNT technology built in. And then so it's, as Kevin mentioned, we're starting with our TSB 652 series, which is a thermal receipt printer. And then very shortly, we're going to be expanding that beyond that printer series to models such as our SP 700, which is an impact kitchen printer. Obviously, that is the logical next step for online food ordering, showing up directly in the kitchen. So you'll see our lineup of CloudPRNT capable printers increasing throughout the spring.
Brianna, I've got another question here, and I'm not sure if you see it or not, but the question is, so are you saying that the printer polls a cloud-based web service every few seconds and then downloads queued print jobs? And if I could go back, it might make me go back to one of my screenshots, but basically that's basically what we're saying. back to my, sorry, my PC decides to go to sleep on me. And I think you can see that, yeah. That's it. So our printer does communicate with of the given server using that URL. The printer will talk to the URL on a scheduled interval. You know, it's a scheduled 5 second, 10, 7 seconds interval, and gets the print job and then allows for it to print.
So basically how this works is the online ordering service on their server, which of course they've already got some server managing their online order. So on their server, they're going to have a URL or a location on their server where they're going to be placing these print job orders in the kind of in a format that we specify in our documentation. So what happens is the printer, as Kevin mentioned, just goes to that URL and checks every 5 seconds or so to see if there's an order waiting for it. So you know, it'll print the orders in the order that they're put into that basket, if you will. So yeah, if anyone wants any more technical information or wants to see the specifics of the CloudPRNT protocol, you can find it on our global support site. And if you are interested, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll provide you all of that information.
Brianna, John, I'm also seeing a few more questions. Here's one by Sosa, and I think we've answered it. He's asking if the 143 LAN can be used as a cloud printer, and the answer to that is today's model is that's a no. It's the 654 Sosa. And the next one is from Aaron. John, you might answer this question. He's looking for how many companies are using the service now, or how many ISVs have we talked with in regard to the CloudPRNT.
So because it's a very new technology, there's not a whole lot of places out in the field where this is being used, but there are definitely some. For example, I think the first place it was installed while it was still in the prototype stage was actually the Anheuser-Busch Brewery Tour, where you can order, as you're doing the tour, you place your order, and then it prints out at the bar at the end of the tour, and your beer or whatever beer you ordered is waiting for you. So now we're working with dozens of other different flavors of online ordering, food, what have you, to implement this technology. So we've got some in some pizza places in New Jersey and in pilot sites now, where it's going to be expanding very quickly throughout 2017.
Another question we had is asking about the wait for the print if it's used, say, for a POS system in a retail store. And that's being asked by Stephen. Stephen, I'm assuming the question is, can the printer be multitasking where it's being used by the POS system but also as a cloud print? The answer to that is, as I mentioned inside the PowerPoint, is it is a multitasking device, and the interval that's been set up or set in communications would be at that 5-7 seconds for the cloud print. So it can be multitasked and used as a receipt printer as well as the cloud print set up in the protocol.
So if I can just jump in real quick, so I think there's two ways to answer that. So one is as a shared printer, as you mentioned, Kevin. So that's where you've got the printer being used to accept online orders using the CloudPRNT technology, but also being kind of the local printer for the point of sale system. So just kind of behaving as a standard, TSP 650 Ethernet printer. So it can certainly do that. And the other way to answer, and this may be what the gentleman was getting to, is if this is an appropriate replacement for, to use this CloudPRNT technology as your receipt printing solution for a point of sale. And I would say that we definitely have people using it that way or considering to use it that way. I think it would certainly be a little bit slower, just because I believe the minimum interval that it pulls the server is 5 seconds. So you're talking maybe up to 5 seconds, plus a little communication time for printing that receipt. But it's definitely, depending on the application, it's definitely a viable solution and worth looking into if you think that would solve a particular problem. Generally, you want to print from a point of sale. You want to print locally, so you're not relying on the cloud to send receipts. But definitely, we have people using it in that manner.
One last question here from Aaron. John, you'll be able to answer this one. I'm going to make the assumption it's going to do something, but I don't want to be wrong. He asked, what happens if the printer paper runs out? And my assumption was that we would change the paper and that the print jobs would sit in the queue, and then the CloudPRNT would print those print jobs when the paper is restored.
Yep, and it does give status back, so the printer can communicate status back to the cloud. So things like paper out certainly can be fed back into the system, so a warning could be posted or something like that.
I just have one last question here. I don't believe you guys got to it. I have a TSP 650 in use with several customers. Are they all CloudPRNT enabled? And then as a follow-up, these printers are using WebPrint for their main work. Can both work alongside each other?
I'll take the first question. Say the first question one more time, sorry.
Sorry about that. It's kind of a two-part question from the same person. So he has some TSP 650s in use with several of his customers, and he wants to know if they're all CloudPRNT enabled.
Yes, okay.
The printers are currently using WebPrint, but can WebPrint and CloudPRNT work alongside each other?
Actually, it's the other way around. So, and I'll go a little more into that. So the answer is no. The CloudPRNT technology, that's actually a unique new interface. It's a very intelligent or more intelligent interface. So there's no way to make any like a existing WebPrint interface printer be CloudPRNT compatible. However, I would like to note that the CloudPRNT printer, which uses that CloudPRNT interface, does support WebPrint. So you can use a CloudPRNT printer as both using the printing from the cloud technology or the local WebPrint technology, which is our maybe that's a good topic for another webinar, but the WebPrint is our technology for printing locally on a network from a web browser-based application on any device. So the CloudPRNT printer is a viable option for anyone using WebPrint today, certainly.
Okay, I just had
there was a second question to that?
Yes, it was basically just do WebPrint and CloudPRNT work alongside each other?
It's forward. Okay. It's forward operational in the sense CloudPRNT with WebPrint, not backward compatibility of WebPrint printer working with CloudPRNT.
That's right. That's correct.
All right, thank you. A few more questions. What happens if the printer PAPs run out?
Brianna, I think I answered that one. He's assuming that's paper. I was assuming that's paper.
Okay.
Yeah, that basically sit in the queue. When we reload the paper, then the print jobs would actually promote themselves.
All right. Got it. And sorry, was this question answered? Is there going to be a USB host support for barcode readers to allow bidirectional communication by CloudPRNT?
So I'll take that one. I think you won't mind, Kevin. So yes, we are working on that. So I believe today, using on this CloudPRNT printer using the WebPrint protocol, you can drive or you can operate a barcode scanner. But I believe what the person asking the question would like to know is, can I feed that barcode scanner information back and forth, up to the cloud using the CloudPRNT technology? Not today. That is certainly in our pipeline. So whoever asked that question, definitely reach out to me if we're not already in touch. And I'd like to learn more about your request and your needs. Certainly, we want to support you.
Okay. I've left our contact information up there for the attendees to copy and document. And as John said, if you've got questions after we conclude this webinar, feel free to reach out to either John or myself.
Okay. Send your technical questions to John and your purchase orders to Kevin.
All right. It looks like we still have a few more minutes, so there's just a couple more questions here that we need to get answered. This one says, a TSP652 Bluetooth using the Wi-Fi device can be used as a cloud printer. Will we be receiving a new SDK enabling this functionality?
So I'm not quite sure what the question is getting at. So the TSP650 Bluetooth model is not cloud print capable. It's a unique interface on the TSP650 series printer, and then we do have a cloud print SDK that basically just defines the protocol that is available on a global support site, and you can reach out and we'll provide you that as well. I'm not sure if that answers the question or not, but.
All right, next question is, how configurable is the URL? As if the printer simply pulls a URL, then this could pose a security risk, as anyone who figures out the URL would be able to effectively download order details.
Yeah, I believe there's some security built into it. I would please reach out to me. This is John. Please reach out after. I'll get our engineers and we can give you a suitable answer to that. We have built this with some security in mind.
Okay. And this looks like it's the last question. Is there going to be a Bluetooth supported CloudPrint printer?
No, there's no plans for that now. I'm not sure what the use case would be for cloud print technology. It really needs to be, on an internet connected network, so it's, it's cloud accessible. I can only imagine maybe the use case would be as a kind of that dual purpose. So it's on a network receiving orders, but also, connectable to a local POS by Bluetooth. So I would say, I think that the right answer to that is if you're using it as a shared printer, meaning it's going to be using the cloud protocol, but also, as a printer for the local point of sale, it would be best to use network, network on both sides.
Okay. And one last question. Will the CloudPrint printer run under Linux or Windows?
Will it run under Linux or Windows? Yes. So it depends on, again, I'm not sure which, from what perspective the question's coming from, if that's from the cloud server side or a local point of sale. But in either case, the answer is yes. So we've built the CloudPrint protocol, so really it can be driven from any type of server. We want it to be completely open. It's your server. I'm not here to dictate what your server is going to look like. And then also it works with all of our standard, drivers and things like that for, printing locally from a PC or Linux or anything like that. Or our iOS or Android SDKs for that matter for printing locally.
Okay. So that about wraps up our 30 minutes. As mentioned, you can contact either Kevin or John with their contact information listed on the screen. And thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.